to my pity party. Everyone's invited to celebrate your misery. Apart but united. Well, we can do anything if we want to. I'm writing this. This is love. Now you know who I am. You can't unhear this song.
Hello, it's me, Kevin Vonesper. If you're watching this, you have found the VonPod. Oh my God, tonight, this conversation has been building up in my mind for probably over 20 years. This conversation can drink, okay? So, you just heard Mannequin. That's a band that I've been sort of obsessed with for like 21 years or something. I don't know. Math is hard. Someone else in the chat can do the math for me later on. We got him here tonight. I got to tell you, are you ready though? I'm going to give you some story time before we go forward because you need some context to this story. And of course, I need to place myself in it as I do here. It's my show, right? Welcome everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are already chatting away. So much history. Hello, Mary, Francis, Sherry. Yes, keep all the comments coming and the questions. This is going to be fun. I like it with an audience. Okay, the date was November 16th, 2002. I was a freshman in college at Five Towns College in Long Island. I had just somewhat recent, I guess at the beginning of the semester, we started our band Putty Root with Valerie Abbey, who is a frequent collaborator up until now on my new records, which of course you can go get at the Bandcamp. Go get the last copies of Welcome to My Pity Party and shameless promotion. I'm already doing it. My new record is up for pre-order. The Final Boss. Yes, she's on that one too. Anyways, 20-something years ago, we had this band called Putty Root. And one of our favorite bands at the time was Mindless Self-Indulgence. And we saw them, well, it was my first time seeing them at the Birch Hill nightclub in Old Bridge, New Jersey. I think I got that correct. I'm a New York guy, but I'm on the border of Jersey, so I know a little bit about it. Birch Hill nightclub, Old Bridge, New Jersey. I think that's correct. It's not there anymore. Pretty small place. Definitely way over capacity that night. MSI was playing with Head PE, which I did not stay for, but notably Deadsy and the Murder Dolls. R.I.P. Joey Jordison and Rob Graves. I think I got his name right. Wow, what a just and shout out to AC Slade, who is in the Misfits now playing arenas. Anyways, at the time our band was covering or did a recording of a cover of Clarissa by MSI. And at the end of the show, we threw our CD up to the band, and I swear to God, Jimmy Urine caught it in his teeth. And a couple days later, they were calling us to open for them at Club Chrome in South Amboy. Is that correct? That place, I don't think it's there anymore either. Did that ever turn into something else? Someone let me know. Yes, Birch Hill, see, you guys know. Anyways, we ended up opening for them on their request. And there's a mannequin story in that too. But the big significance, oh, and I have some pictures. There's me and Jimmy Urine that night. Yes, a young Kevin Vonesper. There's Valerie. And then there's us with Lindsay, who went on to marry Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance and stuff like that. Anyways, we met a young man there named Dan, and we were both trading CDs of our cool rock bands with female vocalists. And we gave him a Putty Root CD, and he gave me, oh, where is it? I have my props. I'm not sure which one it was, but one of these CDs here of his band called Mannequin. And we took it back, and we just became instantly obsessed with this band. And the rest of the story will follow as we go through this conversation, because we got to get the guest on, right? I'm sorry, I ranted in the beginning, and now we'll let the guest talk tonight on VonPod.
VonPod. Welcome to VonPod. I've got chicken heads and deli creeps, scary monsters and super creeps on VonPod. You're listening to VonPod. With aliens and skunk dogs, I hope you're here to chat along to VonPod.
You can watch and chat with us live. Like and share and subscribe. It's always a surprise.
VonPod. VonPod.
Hello, markiemodel.
Hello. I can't believe all of this. It's so
Yeah. Did any of that ring any bells to you, or like jog any memories?
It's ringing some stuff. Yeah, I'm getting rung.
Yeah, because I know you weren't there that night, but your keyboardist was. and we struck up a relationship and started mailing each other CDs through the mail, like in a mailbox and stuff.
You found the right person, because Dan is conscientious, so he's someone who would follow through and follow up. Some others of us, we might have
And
let.
he did. I mean, not to throw him under the bus or anything, but he sent me his old bands, him and Ziggy's old bands, the
Yeah,
Mannequin record at whatever the state it was, the 1+1 stuff, you know,
all that good stuff.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And yet there was still much more to explore, as you taught me this week.
We were busy.
Yeah.
So, and I guess I still am.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. We're gonna go through all of it.
God.
I got to thank you for opening up your archives to me, because it's everything I've always wanted to hear. Although I didn't get through all of it, because there's about 8 hours of it, which is, now I know how people feel about me when I just send them stuff. I'm like, here's 100 songs. I'm working on all of them right now. Yeah, I get it. But I'm gonna have to zero in on certain points of interest for me, I suppose.
Sure.
But I guess the continuation of my story to get this conversation going is we ended up going to see MnQnN, and I dug up my old pictures, actual print copy pictures from that night. It was at Don Hill's, R.I.P. Don Hill and Don Hill's. I did get to play there once right before it closed, finally. Yes, used to take photographs to the store and get them back. But the whole story was, we were underage, so you guys snuck us in. Like, we did that whole like grab an instrument or grab a speaker cable, and then we were so scared to get caught that we ended up in the basement with you guys all night. Well, you guys were probably mostly upstairs hanging out, but
well, I'm glad we were in the bunker together.
Yes.
I'm proud. I think I said on the internet or somewhere that I'm proud of that moment. I'm proud of Marky from whenever that was then.
2002
we put you in,
or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, because I guess the other follow-up is that we played that show with MSI, and it was an early show, so we were actually trying to get to a MnQnN gig that was happening after it, because we were already in New Jersey. And I remember it was raining like so crazy, it was just like flooding, and we actually had to pull over, and we couldn't even make the show. So
that reminds me of the MnQnN years.
That's just like a whole analogy for the whole era.
Just beating rain, and you're in a shaky vehicle, and like, are you actually going to make it?
We didn't.
Not like on time, but like a lot. Like, will you make it? You may not make it out.
Yeah. And then one more story, and then I'm gonna start letting you talk.
No, I love it.
I was actually at the last MnQnN show ever, I believe. Sort of. I think it was at Connections, right? Does that ring a bell?
That absolutely rings a bell.
The thing is, I don't think it was announced as the last show, so we didn't know until afterwards.
No one
me and a couple friends showed up, and I had a video camera with me. I would have been filming your show, but they changed the age to 21, from 18 to 21 the night of, so me and a bunch of other people couldn't get in. So we were at the show, and we didn't get to, like you said, we didn't make it, but we were there.
That saddens me.
Isn't that a tragedy? Since we can't find any MnQnN video, I was there ready to do it, and they wouldn't let me in that night. And it was your last show ever. It kills me.
On the sidewalk, what are you doing? You're just hanging out, looking at each other.
We went to the diner. What else are you going to do when you're
in Jersey?
19, 20 years old, yeah. I think we went back to Rockland County, but still, that's where I lived.
Well, I'm sorry about all that.
Well, that's okay.
We covered a bit, perhaps. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get into the MnQnN stuff, because I'm just obsessed with that group. Well, I guess we should rewind a little bit and do a little bit of your past, right? To kind of lead up to that moment.
We sure can.
And we definitely have to talk about 1+1, but it's like I know you have like a whole vast history to your music. How would you describe your musical journey, let's say up to about the 1+1 days?
Vast because of my undisclosed age. Yes, there's a
Yeah,
vast trail of stuff up until this very moment.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, like a lot of music people, fortunately or unfortunately, growing up in a church environment had a lot to do with coming into music in a certain way, being submerged in it in a certain way. I grew up in a very religious, churchy, we won't say cult, but a
Mhm,
very controlling kind of environment. And yet, even within that environment, music kind of spoke to me or awakened something in me. So it wasn't too long until I found my way to some instrument or tool where I could use it, where I could try to express an idea or something that was occurring to me and not just coming at me from God or church or
mhm.
someone else. And actually, I'm noticing the MS-20s here. Uh, People at the church, some of the older people gave me keyboards as it was uh, known that I played the piano or something in church or the organ. I forget. People started giving me their old synthesizers, including the MS-20.
Nice.
So I ended up as a kid with like some really strange instruments that had a bunch of knobs or push buttons at the DX7 someone gave me a Moog.
Hmm,
um, you know, some
that's
things
a
I could
nice
figure out how
collection
to
already,
use, some
yeah.
things I could not figure out how to use, being like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that to say that, there's like an emotional part, like for many of us, there's an emotional part to the story. There's history, childhood stuff. But for me, I wanted to find myself, express myself, um, experiment, play. And so those instruments, those synthesizers, and then like a drum machine became part of like an early palette.
Mhm.
Um, a little bit later in high school, somewhere I got the idea that the guitar would be cooler. So fuck, fuck is okay.
Oh, we ruined the algorithm already. No, just kidding. Yeah, go for it.
Fuck all that.
Yeah. I think as long as we don't curse in the first 10 minutes, it doesn't ruin us, so we're good.
Okay, so where are we at? I have to like put these in.
Like 18 minutes.
All right. Well, okay, fuck it. So
Yeah, fuck it.
so there was a guitar uh, indie tweed pop era. Me and some friends, kind of ex church kids, soon to be ex church
Mhm.
kids. Um, but then I fell back into kind of synthetic music, electronic music, going in to college. And so the model was an idea, uh, not really a band, it was just myself, but it was like an idea that came about after like, a year of like college and philosophy and psychology and the synthesizers and me up in my own head. I, there came an idea for something kind of nebulous, vague, philosophical, but musical and kind of beat oriented, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that, like, I don't know what you call that pamphlet.
The pamphlet, there was a
Yeah.
manifesto.
I was I I love a good concept band, but I need you to explain this one to me.
I can't explain
Okay.
explain it. I can't. That would have to be a separate.
Okay.
That would require some research on both of our parts, I think.
Fair.
But as a
Or the
young person,
concept behind the concept, perhaps.
yeah. Well, we need some shovels to get into that.
Okay.
But I had some idea. I mean, one idea was like, you know, there's no meaning to things other than what the person brings to it.
Hmm.
So if I write a song and make up words and kind of mumble syllables, well, the listener will probably make something of it. And actually that saves me some of the work. And so if we then put a show together and throw a bunch of images at people and have them doing weird things and have this pulsating music, people will naturally come away with like, oh, I got this out of it, or it was about this or that. So we had a lot of fun with just like celebrating a kind of essential meaninglessness, but all of that to like a 80s, being a child of the 80s, a kind of soundtrack of electronic music and synthesizers and such.
So it was more of like an art experience than like a show.
We would take like a few months at a time to put together a performance. We were in Philadelphia, and I'm saying we because when we would do performances, it involved a lot of people, sometimes up to like 30 people helping out with. There were a lot of costumes. Wow. There was a lot of set design. There was things happening during the show, people being moved around. There were people in uniforms, a lot of lighting, all super low budget DIY, maxing out credit cards kind of thing. So it would take a few months to put it all together. I get a concept, put it together, buy the stuff, and then do the show. And then usually I'd end up in the hospital afterwards because it would just kind of take that out of me. So It was a fun, it was music, but it was a little bit extra, you could say.
Is there documentation of these?
Is there what?
Documentation.
Oh God. There are some pictures.
Okay.
There's a couple floating around. I didn't dig all the way into
That's fair. Yeah. I'm just curious. As an archivist, I just want to know what exists, because it does sound unique.
It was fun. What else you gonna do when you're 19 or 20?
Well, I was trying to go see MnQnN at that time and not being able to get in.
That was your journey.
That was my 19 year. Yeah, you want to do the math on me. There you go.
I'm going to work it up. It
up. And so how does this lead into the 1+1?
Yeah. So, one of the people I collaborated with, professionally known as Spider, personally known as something else. I don't know if they want to keep their name.
That's fair. Spider's fine.
Spider.
I'll go on Discogs. Do your own research.
Right. Come on, people. Spider was someone that I collaborated with in the model, but also Spider and I and another friend, Christian, and another dude, Patrick. There was a minute where we had like a synth poppy band. That's like, that was happening in college. I guess I had a few bands going on at the same time. So that was called Scientific, and Spider was in that, actually playing drums. And so we all shared a love of 80s synth pop, and we were experimenting with synthesizers and recording and all that jazz. Scientific ended for a variety of reasons, and I stayed with the model. I started a new band in college, crazy thing. But then Spider started work. Spider wrote a few songs, and I somehow ended up getting my sister to sing on them, or asking for my sister to sing on them. And they were like, as I recall, they were like Scientific, but like a little bit cleaner, way more straight up pop, really gorgeous pop things. But I could see where a female vocal or a different kind of vocal approach would be fun, and I could see where I could bring some of the chaotic synthesizer thing that I do sometimes into it. And so Spider and Juliet and myself, put a few things together, and it kind of grew out of that kind of like, hey, let's try something here, so kind of similar, kind of different.
Let me, for the audience, play a little sample of 1+1.
Sure.
I'm going to specifically play something I want to ask you a question about that I found on one of these maxi singles or whatever I got, you know, because there's a whole record label story involved. You know, me and my love of unreleased awesome albums, and this is another one of those stories. This was an audio bio. And I think you kind of answered some of these questions already just in what you've been saying, but
Let's see.
let's see. I don't know. Let's see if you remember this.
They grew up in a protected environment.
There we go.
Self-expression was forbidden.
Music was especially dangerous. But inside them was an energy
That
Could not be
contained
I'm looking for a new sound. It's true that I'm a girl. I'm the girl that you've been waiting for. I can anything I want. There's a whole wide world out there for me to see. You can tell them, baby, whatever you need. There's nothing better than life.
inside them was an energy
that
could not be
contained
Introduce yourself.
So there's a lot in there to talk about, I think.
That's the whole story.
Yeah, that's the. I was gonna say, like, when I found that, I was like, is 1 + 1 conceptual on some level? Because it seems to be there's some sort of mythos in that, which is interesting for a pure pop group.
Yeah, it is. It is. Where that came from exactly, or how that fits into a pop effort. There's probably someone else that can talk about this band or this project or that project that had sort of like connected to a bigger idea or a story. Certainly Kraftwerk, were they a pop band? Kind of. But so Spider had a lot in common with my sister and my upbringing, actually. Different cult, but similar kind of elements of, let's say, coerciveness,
Oppressiveness and such things.
Yeah. And then so with that, I guess we also shared a kind of rebelliousness. Although maybe it was a little more wasn't fully developed maybe for my sister. It was a little younger than us.
Right. Yeah, she was like a teenager, right?
She was like
about
still a late teenager.
Yeah.
She's a couple years behind, younger than me. I think her we'll stay with that word. Her rebelliousness kind of blossomed a little bit later, which is kind of where
MnQnN comes in.
Pivot. There's a pivot in the story there.
Yeah, for sure. This is still the origin story, although this could also be a main plot point because of the whole giant record company and everything. Well, yeah, we'll get there, but
sure. Yeah,
like how I guess how did this band develop? And I don't know, spoiler alert, what was this? Was it Elektra?
Elektra, yeah.
Yeah. Elektra, guys. I mean, check this out.
Yeah, vinyl,
guys. Just like these record companies just printed money back then, just for a little single with some club mixes and stuff on it.
It's gorgeous.
Oh wow, there's an acapella on here. Did you even know about that?
No. I need to take a look at that.
It's the Hex Hector club mix single.
Oh, right.
And then there's an acapella on the B side.
All these old club names. Victor.
Yeah.
Hector, forgot about that, dude.
So I mean, there's got to be a lot to this story.
Well, like most stories, most of our stories probably. There's there's some pages to turn. What do you want to know about? I mean,
Yeah. I guess how was it? How did you get discovered? Was there a live band component? Like, what were you doing to promote your, what's the building blocks to the Elektra deal, I guess?
Gotcha. It happened from the point that where Juliet's cutting some demos, and Spider, from what I recall, I think he's the one who came up with 1+1, and
Right. And what does the name mean?
I don't remember that.
Hmm.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't remember. But we started. Spider had a friend, a wonderful another wonderful Dan, who came in to play guitar. Maybe he played guitar on some tracks, but at least when we started to think about let's play a show somewhere, Dan, or as we called him, E-Dan, E-Dan came in to play guitar, and the drums, so Spider was sort of working in a studio at the time. As I recall, the guy who ran the studio was this sweet French guy named Olivier. Olivier had a younger brother, sort of fresh off the boat from France, but was a drummer. So then he was set up with some kind of Yamaha pads, like electronic percussion pads. So yeah, I think our first show was actually at. I saw a picture that reminded me. It was
yeah, I got pictures.
UVA. It wasn't in Philly. It was at a friend, like one of Spider's friends was like, it was like some frat party in Virginia. It was our first show. So, part of our story and our fun was to wear.
Is that it?
This is the first show. This is a shot of me up on something and hunched over playing a synth. Juliet, my sister, pretending to play a synth, singing. I have some sort of like Barbie headset on. Spider is in the center there on guitar at this point. So he played guitar for a minute, and then Dan with the glowing vest.
Yeah, that's nice. I want one of those.
Maybe Gilles wasn't there for the first show, for this first show.
Maybe he's just cut out of this photo.
Or he could have been.
Yeah,
he could have been. There were some photos where that actually happened. So we went from here as like, you got to start somewhere, and to a show at the Khyber, maybe a couple shows at the Khyber, to like I forget how we came into it with like a manager guy, some New York guy.
I think your bio you sent me said something about the Mercury Lounge.
Yeah, well, So
was that a different part of the story?
No, that's kind of where.
And Francis saw you at CBGB's. Wow.
Yeah.
1+1 at CBGB's. How did that go?
Well, that's interesting. I have vague memories of that. Apparently it went well. Apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
It went well enough. But we hooked up with a manager. I'm totally forgetting why. This was also the manager, I want to say, of our friends in the Interpreters. I don't know if that was a Philly / New York band that they have their own whole story, but I think that's how we met Mike Rich. And then, so then it was a Mercury Lounge kind of showcasey thing.
That's cool.
After we made some demos and, they get passed around, we took some silly promo photos one day in New York, and after we played at the Mercury Lounge. I think this photo, that's probably in Philly, whatever. Yeah, people started getting like interested, label people, and it kind of went from there.
P.S. Everybody, I work at a party every second Saturday at the Mercury Lounge called the Red Party. So I'll be there this Saturday taking pictures if you want to show up to the legendary 1+1 story Mercury Lounge in New York City, right next to the legendary bank. The bank.
The bank.
Remember the bank? I don't know. We're not quite to your goth adventures yet.
No, we're not quite there.
No, you're still wearing lots of white. I see here.
We're getting there though.
Yeah.
As we get into it.
So okay, I got to cut in and ask about this. You opened for MSI at CBGB's?
There you go.
That's awesome. So we both opened for MSI.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, we have that in common, Kevin.
Yeah.
Do you have a video of your band?
Yeah, I do.
Are you going to play some of that tonight?
I could if you want. I'd have to go find it on somewhere.
On a break. We'll take
on a break. Maybe I can pull that up.
That's great.
Yes, because that was the show that we tried to. Oh, here actually. Let me see if I can. I got some pictures from that show that I found. There was my band Putty Root, and there's my singer Matt wearing a shirt that says MSI Sucks.
Sucks, of course. That's so familiar. That's so
familiar. And this was at sold out show at Club Chrome, if you remember Club Chrome. And there's me and Jimmy backstage.
So young.
Yeah.
Young.
And then again with Lindsay. I totally forgot about these photos until today. I didn't even know they existed. So, and then that was the show. Afterwards, we tried to make the mannequin show, and we didn't quite make it. So it all goes back to MSI, and I know you mentioned something about James Gallus before, but maybe that's jumping ahead.
It depends,
Yeah.
On the rate. What time is it's 9:41 already? So we've been going at this a little while. But yeah. What?
Well, tell me about CBGB's opening for MSI. How did that happen, or were they aware of you, or?
So yeah, we ended up signing with Electra, the A&R.
Right. Okay. How does Electra happen? Yeah.
Yeah, one of the one of the schmooziest A&R people won out. He was sufficiently schmoozy, and they threw sufficient piles of money at a bunch of kids from South Jersey and Philly.
I would say yes too.
Fucking stupid. I mean, fun, but just like, wow.
Man, this was just the end of the record industry. Like,
or we hastened it.
I think you broke it. You broke the record industry.
They were like, wow, we shouldn't do that again. So the same guy signed us and MSI to Electra.
Oh yeah, they were on Electra. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All of their story kind of after that, but this was like right around the Frankenstein
at Birch Hill. Yeah, we were talking about that.
That I think that came out on Electra. So
yeah, Frankenstein Girls is Electra. Yep. And then they started their own label, Uppity Cracker, after that.
Yeah, I'm not. I kind of lost touch after.
That's fair.
After that, we were busy. But there was a time where they became friends, and we started hanging out, and we moved to the West Village,
right? And
we started working on a record up there above the Studio 54 building. Like it was glorious, and but palling around, as they say, with MSI and getting up to stuff, and so we they invited us on. Like 1+1, you saw the pictures.
Right. I know. We're skipping ahead a little bit, actually.
Blue, they invited us on a show, and of course it was
did their crowd like you?
I think
we got their crowd to throw stuff at us. Everyone was throwing stuff at us.
The urine, there was no urine was thrown you know, from my recollection,
I don't think there was urine, but there was tampons, I think.
I guess we elicited a different response from
Yeah.
that yeah, we made some more friends that night. So it was a fun part of the story there.
Nice. All right, so you're on Elektra.
Yeah.
Was the record basically like, how did the record come about? Who produced the record? Was it the Chris Lord Algae? Is he had something to do with this?
He did some mixing, as I recall. A few people worked with us, and I guess it was generally self-produced, but there was a lot of collaborators, especially with helping Spider and helping myself to learn how to program and
Right.
begin to work. I mean, Spider was more familiar with working in a digital computer-based way. But for me, it was very new. But there were a lot of people that helped us learn how to program different synthesizers and how to record. There were some people that helped us think about arrangement. And so we had a lot of help. And I couldn't tell you how the credits would have read.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest, like, I love reading liner notes and seeing who did what. And since there was never an official release,
Yeah.
I never got to read the credits. Like, I'll do a little show and tell. I got my my 3 singles here. They're all different.
Right.
I don't know. I guess we could talk about the image, where this image was going. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
What's the deal with the image? Well, it's the story of, like, any small band from wherever the fuck USA that, like, is doing their thing, and then they get picked up, and it's like,
I mean, it's
amazing.
This is a little bit edgier than the record is, I would say.
You end up with, like, a half naked girl on the front, and, like, a cover song as your lead single, and you're like, was this the plan? Was this what we wanted? And you're kind of like, well, okay, let's
I guess
try it. Let's, if this opens the door for our songs, if it,
Well, let's get to that. Should we run a commentary?
Sure.
All right. Are you ready for this? You know what's coming, right?
I have an idea.
So this is the over budgeted Cherry Bomb. How much did this video cost?
At least $500,000.
Holy crap!
Or probably more, easily in that range.
You were like the last group to get like a high budget video.
They learned a lot of hard lessons, I guess, with us.
Yeah.
So,
like, what comes to mind when you see this?
Well, that's a very good question. Well, thinking about the story and the mythology and this idea of, like, pop music and myth and rebellious myth, I think this moment, what I see is, a bunch of kids in a maturation, in a process of maturation to different degrees. And so we're wearing black, not that there's anything wrong with that at all, but, like, it's far cry from the white and pink and blue.
Oh yeah, you're wearing black now.
Right, so this is like our first song that we're going to release. So from the early days to here, things were shifting, and so we get to this point, and the song is cool. It was fun, but I like it. It's a cover of a great song,
But it wasn't your idea.
No. So it's like, you do it because you're trying to seize the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But we're fucking around. Me and Dan totally. It was like a big kind of joke, really. But we tried to have fun with it.
Yeah.
But as I recall, Juliet was kind of like, at this point, falling out of love with, like, being a pop singer idea, like a straight pop singer.
Right.
And as you might pick up from maybe some of the.
Nice dance moves there.
Thank you. Yeah, just doing a bunch of stuff, weird stuff, for fun. So we're hanging out with like MSI and starting to go to places that are playing like.
Oh, so now you enter your goth phase. Now we can talk about the Bank, and I'm sure the Bat Cave and clubs like that, right?
Clubs like that.
Oh, the Limelight, right?
Limelight, also Limelight.
Yeah.
like
We love Limelight stories on this show.
Met a lot of stories. Getting into a kind of energy in music and in the city, but an energy in life that was vibrating at a different maybe wavelength than where 1+1 started off.
Yeah. So now, okay, so you have this record. Why doesn't that come out?
Good
And
question.
is it your fault or is it the record company's fault? How do you sink $500,000 into a fucking music video and then not release the record?
Right. And that happened like all the time, right?
Yeah.
But in our case, as I remember it, we released the single in the fall of some year, maybe it was going into Y2K. I think I wrote that.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone was freaked out about the world ending, and we're like, okay, we're going to release our song, but maybe we're all going to die.
2000, yeah.
So the song kind of got like crowded out by Pink and Madonna and whoever else was also releasing music. So the label was like, that's fine. Let's actually pull it back, whatever that meant, from the radio. Like let's stop pushing it. We'll push it again after the holidays. It was like they felt like the fourth quarter is never a great time for a new band, but we did it anyway, but then it didn't work. So like, okay, they wanted to regroup. But over that, few months of just hanging out in New York City, something kind of changed. And particularly for my sister and her feelings about being a front person and what kind of music she wanted to make and what she wanted to say and the kind of music that she was exciting her.
Yeah, well, I guess what else were you guys listening to around this time? Of like what kind of influences were coming in?
It was like industrial music 101 for us. That wasn't my background, like maybe for you or some other people. So it was starting off with like the Pretty Hate Machine era stuff, and Marilyn Manson was kind of exciting then.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like techno kind of music, but I think more too.
Prodigy was out.
What's that?
The Prodigy.
Yeah, well, of course, Prodigy, Autechre, stuff that like again showed a different kind of
edgier.
Yeah, a different part of the emotional spectrum.
I mean, I love the 1+1 stuff, but it is. I'm almost jealous because I can't write a pure pop song. I don't know how to do it. Like, it's always like there's a minor key somewhere, or I don't know. I'm almost jealous of people who can achieve that at some level.
Well, there's room for your minor keys in pop, certainly, but I know what you mean. So over those few months, like the waiting period, Juliet and Spider particularly started writing. Well, Juliet really started writing, wanted to record like new songs after we had kind of like already did a record of 1+1 kind of Pink dance pop. And so we started recording those newer, different songs in the interim.
So can I play a little bit of it so people get a sense of what's going on here?
Go right ahead.
And we can talk over it. Hold on, let me share this screen because this is like what I've been focusing on this week. I knew about the MnQnN album, the later one, but this stuff I'd only heard 2 or 3 songs, and to hear it all in context, you basically have an album quality I mean, this could have been released as an album, quality wise, and I just now I'm like falling in love with these songs and that I didn't know about.
It's lovely.
And it's like, oh my God, there's a whole nother album of stuff, like just all material that's not out there for people to hear. It kills me a little bit.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Right, MnQnN demos.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is the stuff that you guys were making at the time.
Yes. Yeah, this was like yeah, this might have been very early on. This song Dummy could have been one of the initial few songs like written in the interim between Cherry Bomb's first release and its planned second.
It does sound like the bridge between 1+1 and like the later MnQnN bands.
I think.
Wait, I gotta let this chorus just.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, I mean, it rocks hard. Did this have anything to do with the name MnQnN, Dummy? How does the name fit into the whole concept of your world, your universe?
I'm sure MnQnN was a word that was in the pages of my sister's journal at some point, and so I think it kind of came with the idea of wanting to do something real. And, you want me to be this thing, this fake thing, this, manufactured thing. Well, I'm going to take that and.
So this is a response to the record company, basically.
It's a response to all of that. I think in some ways. So actually the initial MnQnN was spelled out.
Right. I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah. Because there's sort of like MnQnN 1.0 and then I guess really 2.0 or something like that.
Right.
But yeah,
there's a whole album here, and it sounds great. Like what?
Well, we still had the studio. We still had some access to some of the people that helped us make the first record, the pop record.
Right.
So we're just moving ahead. You got a lot of the drum and bass love.
Yeah.
Is a little more prominent, I think, in the early MnQnN tracks. Spider was like into that and really good at, we'll say, not sampling, but showing some love to what we were listening to from that part of the spectrum.
It is still poppy though. Like, don't get me wrong. There's some great pop material within here.
Yeah, I think that's probably trying to split the difference.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Trying to do another record for Elektra. Like I think there was.
So what? Oh yeah, I just gotta know, like, what was the final decision to like drop the band or the record, and how did that go down?
The final decision was they signed a Euro dance pop band that wore pink wigs and white clothes and was going to do a clean pop thing, and then that band turns into something else and wants to go with a very different vision.
I mean, are they pissed that they wasted like that much money, or like how does? Is there a response? Like
there were strong feelings about it. It across the whole. It's like a lot of people involved in this.
Yeah.
Within the band and people supporting the band, and then at the label, and even my own part of the story is. I mean, I'm down with kind of doing something a bit more intense, but I didn't see it as like selling out by like playing with the pop format. I didn't think of it as too light, or I thought it was fun or even funny, and something worth just like seeing through, just because why not? Like it for me, my kind of personal story wasn't so tied to the 1+1 sound or image, maybe in the way that it was for my sister. So it became something else for her that I understood at best, and other times I was like, just fucking get over it. Just let's just do the record we just that we made. But that that's not how it all played out.
Did they want to sign MnQnN, or was there an option to sign MnQnN? Or?
There was some interest, but ultimately the label head, I believe her name was Sylvia Roan, was or is. I don't mean to suggest she's not. Sylvia Roan, nice lady, but more of a pop R&B
right.
kind of person. I don't know. Yeah, she just couldn't see it. She didn't get it. And I don't remember so much at the time, like what was happening in music where she might have been able to see how it connected to something or an emerging kind of trend. It might have been a little bit too forward at that point in 99 and 2000.
It's such a great record. They barely messed up. Both of them.
Yeah.
So does Elektra, like, who owns this record now? Do they still own it, or did you get it back after 20 years or anything like that?
That's a good question.
Because can you put it out? Like, why is it not out there? Like, these record companies own all these records, and now they have these platforms they could just dump it all onto, and they don't. They just probably forgotten about it, or
Well, as far
a
as
way to revive it, I guess, is the question.
MnQnN or 1+1?
1+1 specifically, because I know that was owned by Elektra.
Yeah, I couldn't really speak to what the obstacles would be with releasing that. That'd be a show you'd have to do, I think.
Yeah.
Spider and
is there any interest in that, like personal interest, or?
I'm thinking of the people involved, and
would you want people to hear this stuff? Like, finally, it's.
Well, you and this show are really providing an interesting opportunity to revisit it. Look into it. I haven't really thought a whole lot about some of those questions, really. I don't know. We've all kind of continued on.
Yeah. Well,
in our lives as it happens. But I don't know.
Okay.
It's big. It's like it's not all filled up yet, so maybe there's some space to put it out in some other way. I mean, what we have is
I mean, now there's Bandcamp and Spotify. You can just kind of put things out. It's not like a big deal anymore.
Right.
Although the ownership of that particular one is in the question.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got to meet a lot of great people. Some of the people, some made a lot of friends. Some people that are even here or were here earlier checking in.
So I think we can close out the 1+1 era. We can watch a little bit of this. I almost forgot you sent me some live video. What's the story with this?
Check that out. So that's kind of. That's around, so that's 1+1, but it's a very dark kind of staging. Definitely.
Yeah, it looks like a warehouse party or something.
Yeah, it's funny, but there's some of the lighting, and there's a TV. There's some stuff from shows from the model. So I kind of brought some of that element into the lives. There's a younger version of me with a synth kind of hunched over again.
Like, what era of the band was this? Had you recorded the record yet?
Yeah, so I'm guessing
you're wearing some black, so
so this is, judging from the outfits, this is probably around the time of Cherry Bomb. We probably did
you played that as well.
Industry show.
Here we go.
Around the time of the release of Cherry Bomb.
Was there, like, I know, here, let me pull this up. I mean, the video is interesting, but the quality is questionable.
It's a lot of questionable stuff.
Here's some behind the scenes of the music video, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask about the imagery of the record, and I see this. I see this little figure of you, I guess, drinking from a water fountain.
Yeah.
And here's like a promo. Was there ever artwork made for the record, or like how far did that go?
There was a lot of artwork made that had to do with the single artwork that you
Yeah.
showed. I think there was like a test cover, like they had Juliet like really big and we were all like little, like falling from the sky or something, like In Sync or something, like
Right.
kind of vibe, but which wasn't really us. But we, in some ways, we weren't really in charge of all of the art and image, but we tried. We
And
tried.
like,
Well,
what's up with this iconography here? Was
this
this
is
part of
early.
your vision?
Yeah, this is like early days. Like we had a story that we came out of. We had to escape from an oppressive planet, and we came to this new world, and we had something fresh and new to like give people, and here it is, this music. And I
Mm.
don't know, we just kind of had fun with like some iconography and a
I like
story.
the story, but I'm not getting that vibe from these photos.
Yeah.
Like, what is drinking from the water fountain have to do with breaking out of an oppressive society?
Well,
I want to understand, is why I'm asking.
that that is meant to be me hunched over um
Is that a keyboard?
a synthesizer, but
Oh, it looks like you're drinking from the water fountain.
yeah, well, that is exactly what that image is. Yeah, it's
Oh
like
yeah, go for it.
prototypical people. There's like a man, woman, or whatever those old ideas were. You know, I, there was a lot written about it. I don't know how deep to go with it, or how to like try to reverse engineer the
The concept?
way the system worked back
Hmm.
then. But it was kind of playful.
Well, okay, I think we're done with the 1+1, but I
I feel
thought this was a big part of the story, so there was some focus on this. I mean,
sure,
major label record deals and teen
right.
pop stars and huge videos and the Runaways, it's all in there somewhere.
It is. It is.
I guess, are they thinking like, oh, the Runaways were teenagers, so is that why they brought that song in?
I'm sure. Yeah,
Something like
here's
that.
something as like simple as like here's a girl singing songs with some energy. What
Hmm.
was another sort of obscure but you know known song, or something that was a hit before, that we can kind of update in this new way. But you know you
Yeah,
you're young and you kind of just you don't know I don't know. We
yeah.
all do dumb things.
Um, all right, so let's go to Mannequin, I guess 2.0, you would say, right? So did the original Mannequin play any shows, or was it just like a recording project?
No, it after as I remember it, after the label kind of passed, things were kind of falling apart, you might say,
Yeah,
interpersonally.
right.
My sister and I managed to stay together and actually stay in New York,
Hmm.
and tried to keep Mannequin going in some form or other. But we actually hooked up with Dan and Ziggy, some of our cherished old friends, to put a live show together and to
Right.
reinterpret Mannequin, the initial Mannequin songs, but start writing new songs like as a band. And I had played with Ziggy and Dan in different way, at different times.
Were you in any of these bands, The Age of Metals and If?
Um,
Did those ring any bells? I think those are
no,
old
I think that was
bands.
Dan. I think Dan and Ziggy made some
Yeah,
music themselves. They're both very beautiful people and very talented artists and musicians, and so it made a lot of sense for us to reach out to them, and kind of out of the ashes, or out of the rubble, the shit of all the whole 1+1 and the early MnQnN chapter out of all of that to try to do something that felt a little bit closer, maybe emotionally speaking, for all of us.
So how about this? Do we want to break this up and let me play another MnQnN song and we can
Sure.
have a little 3-minute break? Because I feel like to really tell this story, the people need to hear the music, because you can't go out there and just find it. Like, I got to play it for you to get to kind of like understand like how awesome it was.
Yeah, what do you want to play?
I'm thinking Strong is Weak.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that might be my favorite one because it's just like pumps me up. I don't know. There's so much energy to this song. So
Well, something's pumping you up. I want to hear about it.
yeah. All right. Great. Well, Strong is Weak. So yeah, we'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes, however long this song is.
Okay.
I have some dreams for you. They used to be mine. I know what's best for you. The everyday line. Expectations from 100 unknowns. Anticipating from the bitter throne. What you get tomorrow and what you got today. Don't hold me to your tomorrows. Just let me get through today. And what you want tomorrow and what you want today. And what you get tomorrow and what you got today. Manipulate me with your secret regret. You frustrate me with your ignorance. You're contradicting what you said yesterday. Was there a time when it wasn't this way? What you get tomorrow and what you got today. Don't hold me to your tomorrows. Just let me get through today. And what you want tomorrow and what you want today. And what you get tomorrow and what you got today. And what you want tomorrow and what you want today. And what you get tomorrow and what you got The weak is strong, but the strongest weak. And I'm just starting to get through to me. What you want tomorrow and what you want today. And what you get tomorrow and what you got today. What you want tomorrow and what you want today. And what you get tomorrow and what you got
I mean, goddamn, if that's not energy,
It's some real energy there.
that is energy. Like it's timeless to me. Like it doesn't sound 20-something years old like it is.
20-something years.
I know. Can you fucking believe that?
But
About 20 years old. Yeah.
to Juliet's credit, I mean, should get credit for a lot of things, but like, you know, she wanted to make sense of her life. She wanted to feel like she was doing something vital. She wanted to, like, you know, take her power back or something. And so, you know, what I hear
Was
in
she writing the lyrics and everything too?
um
Or what was the
yeah,
writing process?
primarily, especially at that point. But I think more and that's part of the story too. I think 1+1, Spider wrote a lot of the lyrics and melody. I mean, that evolved a bit over time.
Mhm.
Juliet wrote some, I wrote some. Um, Mannequin, you know, early Mannequin, full spelling. That was Juliet much more saying, you know, here's what I want to say, here's how I want to sing it. And then by this point, you know, it's like it's our band, but it's her band. She had the mic, and so, you know, it was a lot of
You
power.
could tell. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever she's saying, it sounds genuine and powerful. And I think that's what comes. I feel like what I've learned in life is that the more genuine you are in your presentation, the more people can respond to it, you know? And this just sounds like pure. I think that's the word.
well, you know, there's really wonderful people in the chat, and like some
Yes,
of the
thank you for
folks.
everybody. Everyone subscribe to my channel. I need 15 more people to get to 1,000. So maybe we can do it tonight.
I'll
Just
do it.
putting it out there.
I'll do it later.
Yes.
Sorry, but
14.
I wanted to acknowledge that you know, some of what came during that time is like some real genuine friendships of long standing, you know, of a long standing nature, and so yeah, that's part of what came out of Mannequin, and I know it means a lot to me and to a lot of the folks there too.
So I mean, I gotta say, if I I know there was only 4 songs that were like fully realized, right? Um, but there was a 10-song record that was in progress.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I guess
At
what do
least
I want to know about that? Uh, is that as far as it went, or is there like drum tracks lying around for this all stuff that could be put together? You know, like why why were you not famous and signed as Mannequin? I don't know. I don't know what to ask here. And what
that's
were who were you playing with? What were the shows like? 'Cause I remember Juliet on the bar, like stomping around, just going
yeah.
nuts. You know, like it was very high energy. There may have been some blood. Maybe that's just in some photos that I've seen. You know, it was definitely. I'm gonna start sharing the photos, and you can start
There you go.
talking.
You know, I mean, at that point, we got like we were lucky to play with a couple of solid drummers. There's the MS-20.
What's up with this logo?
Yeah, one of our friends did that for us.
Okay.
Made out of tape or something, or maybe Dan did it. I don't know. Someone did it, and I was like, sure, why not? Yeah, the live shows. I had MS-20 bass guitar. Dan played some keyboards and maybe was triggering some samples too.
Yeah,
Uh,
was there backing tracks in your live show? Like, I don't remember.
there was quite an elaborate setup for that for that era, you know, for 2000,
Mhm.
2001 or '02, whatever. Oh wow, so you got some pictures here.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of wires and flight cases
I don't
and
know what that is.
just heavy, a lot of work. So, but everyone had a part to play. Ziggy and Dan and Juliet and myself. That's probably us listening to one of the 4 songs. So there's
Is this
Spider.
Ozone?
Yeah, that's
This is
like
the studio.
they had moved from South Jersey to Philly or something. And actually, that's Spider there. I didn't.
Hmm.
I was a little when I saw this photo. I was a little surprised to
That he
see.
was in the mix with you guys?
I guess he was there that day or whatever.
Right.
Because for a while there wasn't much communication happening
Right.
in the wake of so
Interesting.
much. But yeah, we played a lot in Philly and Jersey as Mannequin and had a lot of fun. just playing like, I don't know what the shows were like, Harder Sound. I was trying to remember some of the bands we played with.
PT Grimm, I got over here in the chat. I remember that name.
LOL, OMG LOL at times. Like
PT
a million.
Grimm. That takes me back. I don't know if I ever saw them. The Delancey?
Um,
I don't remember you at the Delancey.
You know, I
Yeah.
always remember there's like some band. I saw like a flyer. It was like Tober.
I don't know
Member
them.
of the Lamb. That was some like big at the time Jersey
Gene Pool.
Gene Pool. There was just these bands doing like rock but with synthesizers. I don't know what you call it, kind of music. So we kind of fell in to that part of what was happening for a while. Yeah.
But what's happening with your image here? I guess this seems like an extension of the 1+1 image. Or are you mannequins? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're making mannequins here. Yeah, so it's interestingly full circle for Julia.
Right. I mean, like,
again,
here we go.
So that's kind of like one of the ironies of the whole thing. Here we are. So we're all bare chested now. Not the Delancey Don Hills. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to remember all of the places, but
yeah, of course.
I remember the hours spent setting up and rehearsing and practice, trying to put things together.
A UFO, what does that mean?
UFO. So the person standing right behind Juliet here is UFO. Well, I always called him Umbriel, but he had a different birth name. But I guess we called him UFO. He was.
I know you had a bunch of drummers, didn't you?
Well, we had a few. He was one of them. He was awesome. It was his drumming that's on those 4 Ozone recordings. So, and he was great. He's
I wish there's gotta be, you guys, I'm calling out to the audience. If anyone has any live recordings of MnQnN, audio or video, like I just want to hear these songs with a fucking rock drummer, because we only got 4 of them on record.
Yeah. There were shows after that have like other newer songs. We were writing new songs up until the very end, whenever that was, and songs that started going a lot of places with piano or instrumental little bits, some down tempo stuff.
Yes, please do. I'm like, before this stuff is lost forever, like open up the archives.
Torn was there back in the day. It's great to see
that's
them
awesome
tonight too.
So why were you such an awesome band and then you stopped being an awesome band all of a sudden? At Connections, the night I was supposed to come see you, why did that become your last show, I guess? Or am I skipping around? Is that too far?
No. Everyone's going to answer that question differently. It's one of those things. Everyone will answer that question differently. My story is, Dan. There's our lovely.
The guy who, thanks to him, I feel
here
like
we are.
The initial connection. I would probably never know about MnQnN if we didn't meet him at that MSI show.
Such a wonderful human being Dan is. I still collaborate with him on some more visual art these days.
Definitely tell him I say hi.
Well, he may be listening. I'm not sure.
If you're listening, Dan, thank you for the CDs, and get in touch.
Yeah, most def. I think
you're looking like a death rocker.
Death, something's going on, but it was
like a Lou Reed cover or something.
It was a great space to be alive in and express something. But I had other ideas too, and wanted to write for the model again, and so I started doing that around 03 or 02.
Right. Was that a response to the end of MnQnN? So I mean, I guess I have to ask you your perspective. What ended MnQnN? Why? What? Why did you dissolve my favorite band?
Such a logical question. Like, how could you not ask that?
I have to know. I've been wondering for 20 years.
Um, I it I'd love to. Well, maybe someone else can answer that. Hold on a second. Someone
We're
was texting.
skipping this one.
I think for my part in it, I think I ended up
Peer
moving.
pressure.
I ended up moving on to do it more with the model. Is my recollection of my contribution to the demise or the hiatus. Maybe we're still on hiatus, actually, technically.
Well, I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna loop back around to that one for sure.
That may be the literal truth. I made a record with the model in 03. So
right. So here we go.
Yeah. So
I have an original copy from back in the day. Yes.
You want a reason for what happened to Mannequin? You're looking at it there, I guess.
But I mean, she's not on the record, but there's Juliet, right?
That's Juliet. Yeah, absolutely.
I think. Look at this. There's even some little stickers in here still.
Yeah, again with like these like sort of abstract images.
After 3 records that didn't come out, you finally put this out.
Me and CD Baby or whoever was doing
yes, CD Baby. Like
back in the day. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe that was something kind of unspoken. Like I need to do something. I need to put something out. I
mean, I guess I'm still prying you a little bit about this end of the Mannequin thing. I'm not gonna, I'll try one more time.
Come at me, man.
Yeah, what? You're skipping a little bit here. Like what happens?
That's what happens in narratives. They're crafted, constructed.
Was it not going well at a certain level, or was it just like the fatigue of like having a major label and then like now you're just back to still playing the clubs, or is it just I don't know. I'm trying to lead you on to something here.
Yeah.
But if you want to totally avoid this one, we can skip it.
Like any real life story, it's complicated. And
of course, yeah.
It's not all
whatever you care to provide. Like I don't want to dig deep into some landmines, but
no, I don't.
For the general public, like okay, let me put this in perspective just for me. There's almost, I mean, Mannequin's one of my favorite groups ever, I would say. Maybe the mystery was part of that. But if you try to look up your band on the Googles, there's almost nothing. I mean, there's like some Juliet biographies that mention it with like a line or whatever, but there's really like the history is just it's gone. This right now, this hour and 20 minutes is like the most Mannequin that's ever been on the internet. What do you want to say about the end of the band? I guess how's that perspective of a question?
That's a very generous kind of opening there.
I'm trying.
I will say that the history, that it's a living history, and that I will say that the final chapter probably hasn't been fully written, and that our conversation is part of that effort, but maybe there's more to it.
I'll take that.
There you go. There's something trying to be somewhat clear.
Because I mean, you did say you were working with Dan and Ziggy on other music, right? And I mean, Juliet's your sister, so
Juliet has yeah. I'll have to think about that a little more.
Inception, my friend. Let's finish that record. Juliet's done. Sure parts are done. Like, okay, here's a question. If you were to dig back into those original songs that didn't get finished, with the technology difference, is that still even possible? Like, do you even still have that?
that would be tough. There,
The elements, I suppose you would say,
yeah, what was our organization practices at the time? Our recording
Right.
and storage practices. Do you imagine that they were like industry standard at the time? A bunch of kids, or post kids.
Well, maybe the studio, I don't know.
Well, the studio will have Ozone will have those tapes, but as for the
Mhm.
other stuff we were writing after that, um, that would be tough. Probably the easier play would be to re-record it, but that would require like
Because you
finding.
did so much work already. Like the demos are basically the blueprint for the record already.
Yeah, I mean that's it, the demos follow that pattern certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have
And
to-
would there be an interest, either publicly or personally, in completing a project such as that? Like, do you even care to do it?
yeah, we'll have to talk to
In theory.
everyone. I really don't know. Sometimes I can imagine what Dan might think in response. Dan might be
Dan,
down.
if you're listening,
He might be down for such an effort. But I don't know. I wasn't really prepared to look at this that closely. But I
I'm
think
sorry and you're welcome.
right. Well, it's not unexpected.
Like, have you come across people like me who are just like super into what you were doing? Like, am I a rare breed of? Is this a forgotten band that nobody talks about anymore except me?
we
Because I want the world to know about MnQnN. Like, it's too good not to hear, Or even with the 4 songs that are done, would there ever be? Maybe you could just put those out for a starter. Like, is there any barriers to releasing what is done already, like on a Bandcamp or Spotify, just so people can hear it finally?
Yeah. I have to think about that. I think there are barriers to that.
Mhm.
Juliet's story has continued, uh, Ziggy's as well as mine, and Dan's. I don't know how everyone would feel about that. I don't know that
That's
there would
fair.
be objections to putting those 4 songs out somewhere, whatever that even means.
Mhm.
With streaming, is imploding, or it should be imploding. I don't know.
Right. I mean,
It should implode post haste,
or
but
even like a limited release I don't know. Just it's done, but it's not
well,
public. It kills me a little bit
some
that
of the
people
people
can't
that
hear it.
really love it have the music. And
Yeah.
if someone is listening today or at some point in the future, and you want to hear more, just get in touch with you or me, Kevin. Or
Okay, so you're giving me liberty to spread the word
well, let me walk let me walk that back.
unofficially.
So get in touch with me, and I'll
Yeah.
figure out some response.
That's good. That's better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is I'm sorry if these are like heavy questions for you.
they're totally appropriate and totally within bounds.
I've been waiting 20 years to find out this story,
I'm really so just moved and flattered, really, that what we did made this kind of impression, and that you cared that you can talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Kind of gobsmacked a bit by it. But
Well,
we'll have to
yeah,
see.
it's so good. I don't know what else to say. It's like if that album had come out fully realized, it probably would have been one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time.
Ours too. I mean, it was something we loved doing. Speaking for everyone, I don't know. I think it'd be a tough thing to kind of go. All of us go back to that place and try to continue that part of the storyline.
Well, okay. Well, look, we can move on for now. Let's talk about. Well, let me skip around a little bit because I definitely wanted to ask you about, and I only have a promo copy of this. So again, I can't read the credits. I don't know if you were involved with the record or just the touring around it, but Juliet finally had a major label
That's right. There it is.
album. When was this? 2005. So
Yeah,
this
remind
was
me.
sort of her next step, I guess, in her career, right? And what was this? Virgin Records,
Virgin with
Random
this.
Order.
Yeah,
Were you involved with this?
uh, not beyond just like emotional support and
Ooh.
sharing some ideas with Juliet. No, she was working with, it's the same A&R guy that signed us and MSI back in the day. I guess he went to Virgin. Josh Deutsch. He signed her to a solo deal, whatever. She worked primarily, as I recall, with Stuart Price, the lay rhythm digital guy. He's had a lot of projects in the dance synth music kind of space. Did stuff for Madonna, like a real awesome English guy.
Mhm.
And also a fan of the MS.
Who is Guy? I can't read it. So Guy Slugworth? I can't read it. So
I
small.
Worth.
The producer. Sigworth. Guy Sigworth? No.
Yeah, he was someone else. I mean, I wasn't really involved
Yeah.
in the recording of that. When it got time to like play live, I think I pitched in for a while on the bass guitar.
So there was okay, yeah, that was one question. Like, so I know the big story is that she went on tour with Duran Duran. Am I correct?
That sounds familiar.
You're not sure? Were you part of that? Were you on that tour?
No,
Okay.
no, I was not. No, I think I was involved earlier than
Okay.
that.
'Cause I don't know much about this era, and I guess you can't speak for her, but it is part of the next part of the story, I suppose.
Yeah, and Juliet's story moved on from
Mhm.
Mannequin, and certainly from 1+1. Um, yeah, I guess I played a bunch of shows before that tour. I don't really remember. I was kind of off doing some other things, so I really don't remember much. I know she did a video of a song she did with Stewart. I think the name of it was Holiday. Very cool song and video. So I remember that coming out. Um, I don't know if history repeated itself a bit. I don't know if I don't know what happened to like the story of that record, or if
Avalon.
she pulled something back. Avalon, thank you. I said Holiday because that's
Mhm.
for the lyrics in the song. Thank you, Ann. Um, yeah, that would be an interesting line of inquiry for my
I
sister.
kind of dropped out. Like I'm not even sure if I knew about this at the time, you know. I think I found out about this later. And I was like, how did I not know Juliet finally put out a major label record and then did it not what ha-
What
it
happened
wasn't yeah, what happened?
to
It's kind
it?
of another
Like it's, I guess it's hard to keep going.
yeah,
Um, and if you don't, then it's certainly hard to have your what you're making out there in the world,
yeah.
at least in those spaces. So I think Juliet tried to make a record after that. There's some demos made, but she was working with different people. She was working in London for a while. And I think that became a bit difficult, and wasn't really finished.
Mhm. Was that on like a label or just independently?
Uh, I don't remember exact. I think it was supported. I think it was like the second record. It was supposed to be a follow up record to Random Order, but that I don't think that was ever really finished, or certainly not released, from what I know.
Right. Well, we can let's talk about the next your record, Physical.
What you got there?
And I actually, so here's a funny story. I know I went to one of your shows at the Orchard Bar,
That sounds familiar.
which is where the first Red Party ever was, the party that I work for now. Not the same night, but the same location. But the thing is, I feel like I came late and I probably missed your set because I don't remember anything about seeing the set live, but I remember talking to you and Ziggy afterwards. And I
Oh,
must have bought this record that night, but I don't think I actually saw the band.
okay. Well,
Which
thank you.
is
Go ahead.
another show that I was at and missed.
Missed opportunity. Where you gotta like fix your watch or something.
I know. Well, I don't know. You know, you're
You're trying to do so much.
that was the New York City lifestyle back then.
I know.
I guess, was this your first time having a live band again since MnQnN, and how did that go? And it was again Ziggy from MnQnN. I remember that. I
Right.
think I remember you talking about like using analog VCRs and stuff, or I don't know for what, but if this rings any bells, I'd love to know what you were talking about.
It does. There's bells again. We're like
Yeah.
putting people to sleep here. I hope.
Not me. I don't care if anyone else is watching this. This is for me.
Good. All right. Well, good. Well,
Actually,
then,
we still got some people in the chat, so if you guys want to drop in questions as well, like please do.
oh, totally. Well, then, Kevin, it's nice to hang out with you.
Thank you.
I what the hell did I do?
No, they're loving it. Keep going.
I did some stuff after the Red Suitcase record, the Darkness Within Darkness record.
The Red Suitcase record. I like that. That's how I'm going to call it these days. Next.
For the model.
Oh, wait. I need to know. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is this one TH model? I've always wondered, is there like a mystery to that, to the missing E? And does that have anything to do with removing the vowels from mannequin? Do you have something against vowels?
See, this goes back to where the model began. You know, like I love how people like make these connections.
And is that like
fill in the blank?
Distinguish this model from this model? You know, like is there, what's the?
It is an aberration. And I think without fully realizing it, I dropped the E in part because I was doing something that was a little bit out of the model's kind of school.
So it was like a side project to the model.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, and I've played with derivations of the name.
Was it infamous? Is this infamous?
Yes.
Why is it infamous?
Franny, I don't know. I guess I confused a lot of people when I dropped the E.
Well, that was my first impression of it, so I didn't know that it was any different until later.
I just kind of got off on that, I guess, just like doing weird stuff for no reason to fuck with people.
That's a good answer.
Well, I mean, the other part of it is it was the music was involved like more like rock and roll elements.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I mean, there's some rock, normal songs on this, but there's a lot of more of experimentation as well. Or I don't know if you would call it self-indulgent, but there's a little bit of self-indulgence on this record. Not mindless self-indulgence, just self-indulgence.
Tell me more about what you mean by that. That sounds.
Well, there's like some over 10-minute tracks of just synths playing out, and
Yeah, right.
But then there's also you do Life from the 1+1 record.
That's true.
So
so what the hell?
Did you need did you feel a need to revive that song for some reason?
I suppose I did. And yeah, so that's a song that I wrote back in the day for 1+1, was never released, though
right.
We recorded it, whatever. I think I fell into doing that song at a couple of the model performances on guitar, and so then just recorded it. Kind of enjoyed, touch reaching back into that kind of emotional space again.
Was it the T section or the M section? I don't know if record stores were dying out by that point.
Tower.
Yeah, Tower Records.
Right. Where would that record have been? I still
I
don't know.
think, yeah, I guess that's a good question. I guess that's determined by the staff of the store. Which record do you want me to play something off of? The model record? Francis, which album?
Oh, can you play A New Rebellion off
Um,
or part of it? Because
let's
that
see. I don't have this one queued up. Do you have it online anywhere? Because I have MnQnN and 1+1 stuff I can play readily available. But
it's like probably Apple or something.
I don't know how to integrate that into the show. I'm sorry, guys. I can play physical because it's on his Bandcamp, but I can't play this one because it's not.
I'm so
I didn't create a video for that one.
sorry.
I could play Life from the 1+1 record if you want. Should I play that in the background?
I think we're gonna let that sleep
Okay,
dog kind of lie.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, just because people are asking to hear it, what about putting this on Bandcamp along with your other records that are there already?
So that kind of gets to where I was sort of going. Like, so part of dropping the like that record, what was a different kind of writing for me. And
Okay.
it sounds a bit different, and maybe it's self-indulgent in a different way. And
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying there were just some 14-minute tracks. I'm just like, oh, okay. That
it
goes somewhere.
and I wasn't thinking too much about certainly my audience or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. It kind of exists. It's part of what I've done, but I guess I kind of like don't invite it out to the family gatherings so much anymore. Maybe if I had put the E on it, I'd feel better about including it, but it's just
How about thmodel.bandcamp.com?
I can do that.
I mean, I just want people to be able to hear it, But
Yeah.
that's obviously your decision. This is his Bandcamp for everyone who's asking. Themodel.bandcamp.com. You can get the physical deluxe edition. I know we had a question about the album cover. Someone wanted to know what the story of the album cover was.
Yeah, that's a great moment.
Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry. Very excellent question. Well, the deal with that was I was out dancing with some friends, and that's my hand there, and I happened to be kind of dancing behind a girl, and she's doing something with her hair, and so my friend Johnny Woods kind of just in a moment, random moment, kind of took this picture, and he zeroed in on that little part of the image, and we took all the color out, obviously, and it's like captures like the movement. Johnny in those days, Johnny Woods, I think he even had a label, like a little label called Touch It Movement, and
oh yeah.
So the music was more about dancing, and there's something kinetic, in this image.
Do you remember what club you were at?
Oh yeah, this was at a party in Philly at a place that used to be called the M Room. I don't even know if it's still around. It was like a little place, and there was a time where they had these parties called Hands and Knees or something kind of stupid, but people would go to it, and so one night we went, and Johnny took that picture, and here it is. Yeah.
I guess here's a related but sort of off the map question. Tell me about the Philly scene, like now or then. What's cool about the Philly scene that I should know about? Because I'm a New York dude. I don't really get out to Philly that much.
Oh my God, this is a great question for Sherry Berry. As far as
Is there like a
the current,
I don't know, a punk background to Philly that I should know about? I know my friend Tibby lives there. She's in Reagan Youth.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, Philly, I can talk about back in the day.
Sure.
Sherry, certainly feel free to add comments or chat
Yes,
or
please do.
yeah, sure. Well, Sherry knows a bit of back then too. Maybe I don't want to put
Like,
her
what was the zeitgeist of the Philly scene? I guess in I guess the mannequin days or whatever era you want to.
a mess. I mean, it was a mess. I mean, for me, the golden era of Philly was before that. Was when I was in high school
Okay.
and into college, and because it was the era of like I don't know what you would call the music, but I guess it was kind of shoegaze and
Right.
like Mod Squad kind of music, the Delta 72, Asteroid 4, Brian Jonestown Massacre started coming through. And like, it was like the era of like really like loud guitars through small amps and like, the whole British kind of twinge, a lot of attitude for me, and that was like in the mid 90s, mid to late 90s. That's kind of like a part of Philly's music history that I enjoy. There's a whole like drum and bass 611 records kind of part to the music scene back then that I enjoyed and was kind of a part of my or is a part of my DNA as far as what's happening these days. There's a lot of, I mean, there's so much music.
I wish I could have made your show recently. I'm gonna maybe try to make the next one in February if I can make it.
Yeah, well, that one's up the road a bit
Yeah.
in Easton. But we had a very fun show at a place called the Dolphin on Broad Street. Sherry's band.
Oh, are you Void Vision?
Sherry is Void Vision.
Yes. Hello, Sherry. Yes, we follow each other.
I don't know if I should call it a band. It's Sherry.
Right.
And Sherry also jumped in after like 2 days to help me out playing drums. She played synthesizers and she sang back up with me for the first show that I played out in like.
Right, as MnQnN. Was that your first show as MnQnN?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so I kind of playing with the name again, I kind of dropped not just the E, I dropped the whole the, and I'm sticking my childhood name on the front of it, just trying out some new ideas.
I want to catch up on some comments I missed along the way. Northern Liberty show. I went to that in the loft. I think that was a mannequin show.
No, that would have been the model, TH.
That was an epic show. Oh, okay.
That would have been the record release for. Oh wow!
Torin, dig it up, dig it up.
Dig it up for sure. The record release for the Darkness Within Darkness record. Yeah, that's the show I think M is talking about there.
Electra found them and they all scattered. Yes, reunion. We say MJ saw Juliet open for Duran Duran at MSG. Wow.
There you go.
Were you there? Did you see?
No, I don't think so.
Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah. I remember her at some arena somewhere, but I don't think it was MSG. Things were a bit foggy for me in those days.
Aw.
Still are. Yeah.
We got support for the MnQnN record, so peer pressure. We got to finish the MnQnN record.
I would
definitely support that. I will buy that. This is a most important question of the night. What's your favorite flavor ice cream, though?
Thank you. Now we're getting to the substantive shit. I'll tell you, my tastes are changing, and as time passes, I like to mix chocolate with like a sea salt caramel. I guess that's like a total basic thing to be into, but that's like
you heard it here. There were not many electronic bands during the model era.
Yeah. R5.
Tiny basement shows in a church. Yeah.
That's right.
The E is back. Good night, MJ. Thank you. Don't forget to to subscribe on your way out, of course. um, yeah, I mean, okay, I know we'd be skipping probably 10 years, but like,
That's
you
okay.
want to tell a little bit more about what you're doing these days, and like, what compels you to keep making music?
I ask myself that,
I'm
and
glad you're still around. It took me because I didn't know how to Google the model, but so I got to shout out GenCab for kind of gluing us together here. Your neighbor, right?
yeah.
Because I was actually out visiting Valerie, who's in the chat, who was, you know, snuck into your show with me and everything. She's like, my friend lives next to the guy from MnQnN. I'm like, what? It's like, you have to put me in touch. Like, I have to talk to this guy. Like,
Amazing.
I've been looking for him. I guess I wasn't looking hard enough because you definitely have a website and a
I was,
band camp. You're not exactly hiding, but
I
the
was,
model is a difficult thing to Google.
it is. That's partly how I ended up at markiemodel,
Right.
which is easier
Right.
to search for, but it's not the only reason, or not even the main reason, really.
But it helps, yeah.
It helps. Oh yeah, I mean, there's another the model. I forgot about that. Some UK kids that also make electronic music. So when you go onto a streaming thing,
Right.
there's like some of my stuff or some of their stuff. So it's a mess. So I don't know. I'm into like trying out new things. I'm trying out something new. As for what compels me, it's just one of those things. Like maybe for other people, it's just a part of like kind of your reason for being or living, or part of the air that you breathe, or a sense of something that you're building, and you're still kind of building that. I'm not sure really how to think of it, but
Are you building towards anything right now? Is there going to be a Marky Model album in the works, or?
yeah, I think we can acknowledge that there's working with Sherry actually on some mixing and some co-production.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been recording for like the past year, and playing out live is like a good part of that process. It's a way to like,
Come to New York, play the Mercury Lounge.
yeah,
Maybe I got a hookup for you.
it's been, yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, it's been a while. I'm glad it's still there. I'm like happy to hear
Yes, if you want to, I'll be there Saturday night if you guys want to come out to the Mercury Lounge for some good old goth partying.
come look you up.
Yeah, I'll be there with my camera taking pictures. Oh yeah, there's another mannequin band now too. I saw that, right?
Oh, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong.
Is it spelled MnQnN? Is there a proper spelling and punctuation to the title mannequin?
And we converted, or we distorted the spelling. So MnQnN, I don't think that's how you actually, it doesn't correspond to the way you actually spell the word mannequin.
Right.
We just sort of said, well, visually it looks better if you put two N's after the Q. So that's just
But now, like when we did the flyer for the show, or I don't know how I picked this up, you must have sent it to me. Capital M, lowercase n, capital Q, lowercase n, capital N. Is that a new way of doing it, or just
there were a few ways out there, you know. Dan,
is there an official way?
I'll defer to Dan wherever
Okay.
he may or may not be, who was pretty central in the imagery there.
Yeah, I got to come out and see Void Vision. Void Vision, do you ever come to New York?
Oh, Void Vision is everywhere. If I can speak for Sherry, Void Vision Sherry plays all over the place. She does like legit tours and stuff. She's going to Europe with like Spike Hellis or something. I don't know if I'm not supposed to say
She's
that.
on Mannequin Records.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Sherry is legit. Sherry is very, very sweet, talented kind of person. Someone who lucky to call a friend from way back in the day up into the present. So I'm happy to be collaborating with her, and she definitely check out Void Vision, all that they've been doing, and go see Sherry live. She sequences things live, in a way that I think when you hear it, it hits so much differently than your usual backing track. She's really a genius with that. So
Nice. Pure. See, that's that word again. That's what I'm looking for. There's not enough purity in music these days.
She's got that. There you go. That's some of what Sherry is up to. Sorry, I got it backwards, but yeah.
Nice.
Some of the acts she's touring with.
Well, I know I'm sure I could go on for another 2 hours. I don't know if you want to like start winding it down and maybe do this again sometime.
Yeah,
But we have gone a good 2 hours.
For
Is there
sure. We sure did.
I guess within the stuff
like,
that I covered, is there anything that like I don't know to ask that should be relevant to the conversation?
I don't know.
Any last questions from the audience on,
really happy to have the opportunity to meet you and talk with you about all this, and to try to remember things and reconstruct the past, especially as I'm looking to envision the future for myself. So I feel lucky to be able to still make things, and I'm as excited as I ever was to make art and music out there. So thank you.
Oh, right. Yes. Your artwork. Talk about and I have that up too. Yeah.
There's stuff that there's stuff I've been doing.
This stuff confuses me, so maybe you can explain it.
Well, I think what I could say about the visual art is I've been experimenting with video art and different forms of visual art. And there is some marketplaces that are on the blockchain. So we're talking like NFTs.
Do people still do NFTs? I haven't heard about them for a while.
Yeah, well, I understand this is maybe a controversial subject, or
let's get into the controversial stuff.
Well, like what is it? Why do you need a blockchain to just sell? How do you sell a digital copy of something, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, that is my question.
How do you?
We don't have to go into the entire. I'm sure this could be a whole nother podcast about just this, right?
Yeah, right. And I'm no expert or ideologue about it. For me, over the pandemic, and I think for a lot of people, we discovered a technology really that enabled us to put things out, primarily audiovisual pieces. And a lot of this I've been collaborating with Dan from MnQnN, who's got a lot of visual skills too. But how do you if you can't get your art into a gallery somewhere where people can go and see it and like buy an edition, is there any way to do that in the digital world? So as I understand it, the NFT technology and the blockchain that I'm most familiar with is called Tezos. It allows it gives you a way to essentially release something and have people be able to check it out and purchase an edition. That's how I understand it. I met a lot of people that also do this and made a lot of friends in that space, and we trade ideas and kind of buy each other's art. And to me, like that, it's not that controversial of a subject. I mean, yes, you can right click on an image and download it, and that's fine. That's cool. You can download the MP4s that I make. I don't care. But if you wanted to support an artist or a friend, there's a way to do that.
Art. Buy music on Bandcamp.
And there's that too. Yeah.
Bandcamp Fridays.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I guess I have some additional slides we didn't get to. Maybe we'll see if anything sparks any memories. This is
Sure,
all just mannequin stuff.
This is raw power from
Raw.
Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when did you pick up the bass in the band, I guess, as opposed to the keyboard?
That feels like that's like a strong Mannequin 2.0 era
Yeah.
thing. You know, someone mentioned about the guitars really showing up front and center in
sure.
2.0, and
And the
that's
live drums for
and the live drums. So that's all. That's Ziggy. That's Ziggy 100%. Who's like a guitar genius. Oh, there's some blood for you.
There's some blood. So
Blood on the MS-20. I'm sure Sherry is digging that.
is this your blood? Whose blood is this?
That would be my blood for sure.
Oh, okay.
Ain't no one else playing the MS-20 with a broken key like that.
Wow.
The bass just kind of fit in with the sound, and I don't remember where I started playing bass. I mean, I'm not like a good bass player. I just kind of figured out what to do with it. What does that
This
say?
might have been the show that I went to. Mannequin Does Dons.
Don, so that would be Don Hills.
Wow. I have some pictures also. I don't know. These are just stuff that you sent me. I don't know who took them.
Oh yeah, that's our rehearsal space, Ziggy's old basement. Yeah.
There's Ziggy.
There he is.
Hello, Ziggy. I remember talking to him a little bit as well.
It's another
So this is some photo shoot stuff.
Right. Yeah, from our good friend Jeremy Thomas took these photos. He was in one of the pictures a few minutes ago. He's a good
Brooklyn
friend.
rooftop somewhere, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a rooftop. That's a North Philly rooftop.
Okay.
Where we used to live. Juliet and I lived in North Philly there, and my friend Jeremy, and we used to do shows in the warehouse there too. And yeah, he shot us up on the roof there somewhere.
Here's an obvious question I forgot to ask. Are you a model? Like the model, like does that have anything to do with modeling, or like you have anything to do with that industry that relates to that?
No, that's cute of you to ask. No, it came from craft work, and it was like half craft work and half like in a philosophy class and thinking about the way we organize our ideas and the model as like a structure for organizing bits of an experience, bits of ideas. So the idea of the model is just like it's something that you can put colors into, sounds, ideas, and create these pictures, create these images, experiences, and that's kind of it.
All right, these are my photos. That's why
Juliet,
they're not very
the
good.
actual model, not me.
I wasn't a professional photographer yet back then, but here's the
Looks like we're in a
original
blizzard.
scans of these photos that I took from Don Hills.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Look at
great.
that. Oh, she had like a cast on her hand.
Yeah, she must have jacked up her hand. I love this era of Dan.
Yeah.
Shaved head.
Yeah,
And
he was badass.
he's standing on a platform that is from the 1+1 days.
Oh, okay.
We had a bunch of like stage gear, that we used to lug around, and all these samplers and synths.
I know it's a lot of gear for a small club.
A lot of gear for Don Hills.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
Yeah, these are. I really thought. Oh,
Right.
that's my last week's show.
Yeah.
I thought we had a picture maybe with some members of the band, but I guess we didn't do it. But those are some live shots. Yeah. Holy crap! Any last I don't know, memories from the Mannequin 2.0 days, I suppose, because that's like, again, it's just I can't emphasize how much I love that era of your music.
You've definitely emphasized it, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
And how many shows I didn't get to see, even though I was on my way or actually there.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
With my video camera.
What could have been, Kevin. I think
I saw Tapping the Vein at Connections. How come I couldn't see Mannequin?
Pain.
Remember them?
It's coming back a little bit.
They were a Philly band, weren't they?
I don't
Maybe
know.
you lived in New York at the time, though.
I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things that swirl around as I look back, and maybe it's that way for you sometimes. But I think talking about Mannequin, what I can remember is just the camaraderie we had and the commitment to each other, and yeah, kind of lust for or an eagerness to just dig into something raw. And I guess that came out, and we met a
Yeah.
lot of wonderful people, and it made an impression. And I just feel lucky to have had the chance to do something like that in life.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good place to end it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Let me do some housekeeping. My video album is out as
Awesome.
of last week, so go check it out on YouTube. And then you can go pre-order my next record, The Final Boss, on vonesper.bandcamp.com. And that's coming out as soon as I get the masters back, pretty much.
That's
I'm
exciting.
down to just throw it up there. Go listen to my brother's finally. Speaking of albums that have taken 20 years to finish, my brother's album is finally done and on all the platforms. Go check it out. This
Awesome.
is like 20 something years in the making of sorts. Next week, the cast and crew of the horror movie Bishop's Cove will be here, celebrating the release of the record or the movie. Emily Whitehurst. Here's another from the era. There's me and Val with Emily Whitehurst from 20 something years ago, from Tsunami Bomb, the punk band Tsunami Bomb. They're opening for the Damned at a place called The World at the time in New York City.
Amazing.
Do you know anything about Liz McGrath?
Not a thing.
Oh, well, then you guys should tune in to my show. Just trust me, like this episode, just go with my excitement. I swear we'll go on an adventure, even if you don't know the artist.
I will.
And then I guess I'm gonna have to do this, my 40th birthday party in February. Yeah. So there's the math on that. You can stop doing math.
Who's turning 40?
Me.
Really?
Yes.
I don't believe that.
Do you like Guar at all?
I know of them.
Okay. I do. I have another show on here where I interview people from Guar, and I have Casey Orr coming up this week, the current Beefcake the Mighty. So come check that out if you're a Guar fan. The only officially licensed Guar podcast, I suppose. How should I play the other two Mannequin songs for the end of this episode, just so people can hear it?
Man,
Is
do
that
it.
okay with you?
It's your show. Play whatever you want.
I know, but it's your music. Like, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I just want this to be out there, so if nothing else,
Sure.
people can hear these 4 songs.
Sure. Play Decide and Where Did You Go?
Yes.
From the
Awesome. So that's how we're gonna finish this show. I'm just gonna leave that up. Thank you for joining me. This will be up on Spotify, by tomorrow probably as well. Any last words? Tell me again what the next show is. February 17th, right?
So I'm MnQnN. Next show is February 17th at Coven Wave Party. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we didn't cut. There's so much to cover.
I know, like there's whole bands that we skipped. Trust me. Yes, there's a Little Dreams remix that's out there right now. That's current.
Little Dreams remix and Wet Shampoo, the new single. But
oh yeah, right.
Like I'm thinking of the people here. We needed to, and we the people. We need to take some time to acknowledge each other and that story. And I don't know what else may happen there, but a conversation like this could spark something. You never know.
Well, I'm just glad that now if anybody ever searches Mannequin on the internet, they'll at least find some kind of information. And I like a lot of it, not just a sentence in a biography.
perhaps perhaps a bit more than they bargained for.
Maybe, but you know what? Take what you can get.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you so much. We'll definitely be in touch, dude. I'd love to make some music with you someday if you ever wanted to do
great.
that.
Thank
I'm
you.
always down for the collabs. And all right, I'm gonna leave you guys with some MnQnN, guys. Just pure. It's pure. And this is the completely finished versions of these songs, which I had heard some of. There's lots of in construction versions out there, I think, and I'd never heard the completed 100% done versions until this week, and it's just crazy to hear something different after 20 years.
Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you.
Birthday
I'll
present.
take it. All right, guys, come back next week for another episode of VonPod. I'm gonna play some MnQnN. See ya.
My God, I didn't think that
subscribe.